Okay, good morning, stats class. I'm actually going to use Sarah's project to just show a couple of things, some awesome things, and then some things that I know multiple students are having a problem with. And I was going to share this morning, but we didn't have class. So, Sarah, I hope this is okay. um, Number one, she had asked, or someone asked, not Sarah, I think someone else, I think Kylie asked, on this first tab, do you need to put in these chapter 3 calculations down here for the mean, median, mode, minimum, all that? The answer is no. I will be having you guys do that when we get into chapter 3, and we'll talk about how we can program the Excel to do these calculations, as well as we'll be doing them on our calculator. So just wait on those. So that is not a requirement for the project. You're graded on the next 10 tabs, and this one, Sarah's got an example of a categorical frequency distribution. Looks great. She even has the totals down here at the bottom. One thing I do want to notice is that when you do this, you might want to put them in order. Having your categorical data in order, smallest to largest, then helps you if you ever want to use that for your pie chart. So she's got frequency of 9, then 2, then 3, then 4. So maybe going 9, 4, 3, 2 or whatever. So rearranging these so that they are in order frequency. So if you didn't do that, go back and do that. Her ungrouped frequency table looks great. You'll notice she's got the relative frequencies over here. She could have a total here of 100%. Notice that these are all individual numbers and it is ungrouped. So you should not have, for your classes, you should not have limits. These should all just be single numbers. Number of siblings is a great one to do for that. One other thing that I want to let you know on this one is you would not want to order this by frequency. You want to keep it in order of the class over here. So this looks really good. I'm going to go to my next one. This one, she used letters in name, and she did a class with the 5, has all of her class limits, then did the class boundaries, the upper class boundaries, class midpoints. I haven't checked all of these, but so far looks decent, okay? No graphs on any of those first 3 tabs. Okay, then we're going to go to our histogram. Histogram was tricky, and I told you the reason it's tricky is that if you notice down here at the bottom, they don't necessarily always default to having class boundaries. And we talked about how we would like that to be class boundaries, because if you notice, like this column right here, the second column says 64 to 68 inches. Well, so this one says 68 to 72. So if someone that's 68 inches tall, which bar are they in? It is not clear by my graph if a 68-inch tall person is in this one or this one, okay? And that would be me. I'm 68 inches tall. I don't know if I'm in this count or if I'm in this count. Now, I can tell you how it works because I can go back and look at the data and figure out which bar I'm probably in. However, you don't want it to be ambiguous. So if you double click on your graph or click on this top corner, it'll bring up your chart editor. Go over to customize. Okay, and we're going to customize the horizontal axis. Okay, when you click on that, you have some options here. And one of the options is to change the minimum and the maximum value. So you notice that this graph right now goes from 60 to 64. If I change the minimum value to, let's say, 59.5, now all of a sudden it changes all the rest of these. Okay. Now, what you're also noticing now is that these don't look like real good boundaries either, because now we got 63.6, 67.7, 71.8. So the one other thing you can do is you can change your bin size to exactly what you want. So let's go back up to her bins, and that's under, I think, this histogram button. And it's actually called bucket size. I don't know. I think maybe Excel uses bin size, whatever. And instead of having it be an automatic, we can choose what we want our class width to go by. So if you just click where it says auto, we could make them go up by 2 inches, by 3 inches, whatever. I'm going to go by 3s. And then as soon as I hit enter, oops, that did not work. I'm going to try that again. Customize, histogram. Instead of going auto, we're going to go to 3. Let's see if I can get it to, nope, it's still on auto. You should be able to type in the number. Okay, I had to hit return. 3 return. And now you're seeing this is a much better histogram. I can tell that in this bar, we have 6 students between 62 and a half and 65. So I know if I'm 63 inches tall, I know exactly where I am. I know I'm 68, so I know I'm in the second bar here. We can make it so it doesn't start at 59.5 now because we noticed that we can change this. So I could go back now to my horizontal axes, and I could change this to 62 and a half. No, thank you. I'm in the middle of working right now, to 77 and a half, and then that gets rid of those blank bars at the very end. Now it's looking like a much better histogram to me. The other thing I want you to notice is along the y-axis, it just goes by 2s. We only have 6 people, so maybe we want to go by 1s instead. So I could go onto my vertical axis, and I can change that where it says scale factor, it's on default. I could have it, let's see here, how do I get that to go? I forget now. Custom maybe. Okay, I don't remember right off the top of my head, but I know there's a way to adjust this scale as well so that it's not going by every 2, you can make it go by 1s. I would have to play around with that one. I didn't do that before I got on the video. Okay, let's go over to frequency polygon. All right, Sarah, well, a lot of students, not just Sarah, have something similar to this for their frequency polygon. What I like about this is she anchored it back down. So she's got, if you look in this right here, she's got it going back to 0, 0, and she's got 33, 0. So she's got it anchored down. Okay, now what adjustment I would have made is along here, instead of going 0, 0, I would have gone 3, 0 just to stay consistent with her class midpoints. Do you see how these are going 8, 13, 18, 23? So I would go back to a class midpoint of 3 here, and that will automatically then adjust in her graph. Now, what you're noticing is down here on the x-axis, it's going by 5s. It's not going by my class midpoints. So again, how do we get it to do that? Okay. So I'm going to go and customize this again, and what I think you want to do is where it says horizontal axis, since she highlighted all this text to make this, we're going to click this button right here, treat labels as text, and now we have the class midpoints. Okay. Another thing I noticed is her curve is smooth, so rather than using the chart that she used, we might want to use the line graph. It should be straight lines. So let me go back to setup. She's got smooth line chart. I'm going to go back to this one, just a line chart. And now it's looking good, but shoot, it went back to the going by 5s. So I go back to customize, go to horizontal axis, treat labels as text. And now it's looking a lot more like the frequency polygon that I want. Okay, last thing, and I'm going to, I screwed up her graph because I redid all this, but now she's got to go back and refix her title. And I want to remind you that you do not want the word class midpoints here in frequency here. Like this should be what? Number of students, right? Okay. And this is what? Letters in your name, right? Number of letters in a student's full name. I think it's something like that. And then obviously this title needs to be changed as well. So she can go and adjust that. We don't want the word class midpoint and frequency on the horizontal and vertical axes. Okay, and then the ogive. And her ogive looks really great. There's only one thing I would adjust on this. Again, down here, this should not say upper class boundaries. So what are those? Those are the numbers of letters up to that many numbers of letters. So you could say maximum number of letters in your whatever. And then along here, it would be, instead of cumulative frequency, it would be total number of students who have that many. So ogives are a little bit weird to label, but this needs to not say cumulative frequency. And it shouldn't just say number of students. It should be like running total number of students. Something like that. Okay, those were the main things I wanted to go over. I'm going to just jump to these two. Her Pareto chart has both a horizontal and a vertical. That looks great. The vertical one is actually the Pareto. The horizontal would be considered the horizontal bar. Time series. Notice she pulled data from the United States population. She wrote up here from the U.S. Census Bureau. You can just put a link to if you want, or whatever, but you can see she's got time in years, and she's got the United States population in millions. Okay, kind of an interesting graph. And then her stem and leaf plot. Notice she did get a title in there. Perfect. And on the last tab was her pie graph, and I really like the way she changed these things to the color that would match the eye color of the statistics students. 50% of our students have blue, and then we go around from there. These are in order if I go this way. Typically they're in order you go this way. I would not take off on that though. Her bar graph looks great. At least it doesn't like totally jump around. These three are in order here, largest to smallest. So looks really great there. And again, you can go back and do as much editing as you want on changing fonts, changing colors, but this is done very well. So I hope those little tips help you guys get your projects finished up, and I look forward to looking at those this next weekend, and we will not start Chapter 3 notes until next Tuesday. I'll try to post a Chapter 3 assignment, so if you want to start looking ahead, you can. However, we won't start on notes until next Tuesday, and then we'll be in Chapter 3 for, I don't know, I got to look at the calendar. I forget if it's 3 or 4 lessons, 3 lessons maybe, and I look forward to that. So you really can kind of take the weekend off after you get this big project finished up, and have all of your tabs finished before the end of the day on Friday. I will start looking at them on Saturday. I don't want to see revision edits on Saturday, and I think everybody shared theirs with me. So make sure, double check, but I think they've all been shared. Have a great snowy day. Bye.